Hello, class. My name is Jared Young, and I was part of a great group that consisted of myself, David Lively, Jesse Harris, Tammy Clayton, and Amanda Yarbrough. We did our ISD project on scientists from the 1400s and 1500s, and one of the technologies that we chose to use for our lessons is a technology called EDpuzzle. It's an online program that's going to allow you to take videos and make them more engaging and more interesting for your students. And it also allows you to assess better what your students are getting from the videos and what they are understanding from them. Um, so we're going to discuss the strengths and the weaknesses and the usability and sustainability of this program. And we're even going to go through and do a video as a student and see what that's going to look like for them. But before we do that, I want to take a look at what this program looks like and how you set up these videos. So here we are on the EDpuzzle program. I'm already logged in as a teacher, and we're going to create content. So we're going to go to create, and you can see you can do a new video, upload a video, do student projects, and do a new folder. And we're going to do a new video. And we're going to go ahead and do something based on sharks, because I think sharks are kind of interesting, and I think it would be kind of fun to do a video based on that. So when you mouse over the video, you can have the option to preview it, or you have the option just to use it from the beginning. So we're going to go ahead and use it and start from the beginning. And before we really start playing this video, I wanted to show you a couple of things you can do with this program. And the first thing you can do is you can crop these videos. So as you move these sliders here at each end, you can change where this video starts and stops at. And you don't have to show the whole thing, you can just show a part of it. The other thing you can do is put audio tracks on there, background music, sound effects, things like that. You can add audio notes, which is just a voiceover, like I'm doing now. And you can add a quiz or quizzes, which are just questions that are going to show up throughout the video as you're going through it. Now, this is what we're going to work on. This is what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and play this video. I'm going to show you how to add these questions and the different options that you have with that.
Dun 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 dun.
So here I want to add a question, and we're going to pause the video and click on the question bar, and we're going to type in the type of question that we want to ask. Now the question I'm going to ask is, what is that music from? And those of us that have watched Jaws in the past know that it's from Jaws. So that's going to be the answer that the students are going to give us. Now, we can leave it in this form, and then they would be given the option to just write an answer there. Or we can go back and edit it, and we can do a multiple choice where we would put a couple of answers down here. The correct answer is Jaws. A different answer might be King Kong. And we can do as many answers as we want to here. And then when we save it, it's going to show those options when they come up, and they're going to have the option to click on that as they're answering these questions. And then we just click continue.
Look out behind you! No, in front!
And it starts our video right where we had left off. So we can add as many of these questions as we want to add. We can add as many of these quizzes things as we want to add in here. Once you are finished with your video, you go up to the finish button and you click that. And that's going to give you a couple of options here. We can assign it to a class that we've already got created, or we can add a class or create a class, or we can share it with everyone. And share with everyone just means that anybody that has that link can access this video. They don't have to be a part of your class. Also, what we can do is prevent the students from skipping the questions and set a due date so the student knows when they would be done. So we're going to go ahead and assign it to a class to 4th grade science, and we're going to send it out. And what that's going to do is add it to our class here, our 4th grade science class. Now, if I go to invite more students, that gives me a link that I can give students that they can go right to, or it gives me a code if they've already got an account set up from another class, or they've been using it in your class, that they can put this code in and go to this class. So that is how you set up these videos. And what I'd like to do now is discuss the strengths and weaknesses about this program, because there are some good and bad about everything. So some of the strengths that this program has is that teachers can assess information that they feel is important rather than leaving it up to the students. If you're watching a video in class and students are taking notes on it, they're the ones that are deciding what's important. What this program allows you to do is for you to tell the student, okay, this is important. This is what I want you to know. This is what I want you to learn. So you get to decide that, not the students. The videos can be cropped, so you don't have to show a whole 10-minute video. If you only want to show 5 minutes of it, if you want to show 2 minutes of it, you can crop it to do that. The students are actively engaged. They're, as you can see when we're going through the video in a few moments as a student, they're going to have to pay attention. They're going to have to be a part of what's going on in order to be able to finish watching the video. And the materials learned in small chunks. Now, when we learn material in small chunks, it breaks it up and it helps our brain to process it easier and to know where to store it in long-term memory. So by breaking this learning up into chunks, we are helping our brain to retain that information. So that's important. Now, like any program, this program has weaknesses. And one of those weaknesses is that you've got to have reliable internet access. You've got to have an internet network that can handle multiple devices streaming at the same time, that is reliable, that doesn't disconnect on its own sometimes, and those kind of things. So that's very, very important. You've got to have that, or this is not going to be able to be used. The voiceovers that we talked about on the video clips, sometimes they can distract from rather than add to the content. As they're watching the video and your voice comes on talking about something, they're going to pay attention to what you're saying and not necessarily what's going on the video. Students can opt to watch the lesson more than once, which can be a good thing, but it can also be a distraction. It can be a weakness because if you've got a whole class that's working on something together and you've got a student that decides they're going to watch it again, and the whole class is held up while they're watching it a second or third time. So you gotta be careful of that. And it does take a little bit of basic technology skills by the teacher to be able to do these. I mean, they have to know how to search for videos and add questions and those things. And this is a major one, though, that I've found with this program, that if the teacher wants to use multiple parts of a video, they've got to set up separate accounts. You can't just crop out different parts of it and put the rest together and have a video that way. You've got to crop from beginning to end, and they can only crop once on each end. And so that is a weakness of this program that I've found. As far as usability goes, it's very user-friendly. It didn't take me long to figure out how to use this. Anybody with any basic technology skills can figure this program out. And the best part about it, it's 100% free. And we all know how budgets are. We all know how spending freezes are in the schools. So when you get something that's this useful and is free, I mean, you can't beat it. So it's a great resource for educational videos. You can find videos for any subject that you are teaching that are out there. And it really, truly shines in a flipped classroom model. It can be used in a standard model, in a regular model, in a normal or traditional setting, but it's really, really great in a flipped classroom where the students can take it home and work on it. And the hardware requirements are not real demanding. It's if you can get online and if you can watch a YouTube video, you can use this program. That's how low the requirements are. So you don't need to go out and buy new computers, new devices. You just need to use the ones you've got, and they should be fine. And availabilities on tablets is makes it really worth using. Sustainability of this is that it can be used for multiple lessons and still be effective. I mean, because it's so engaging and because it keeps the students' interest and keeps them involved in the learning process, you can use it multiple times, and it still can be effective. Um, and You can assess student comprehension of the learning of the lesson as they're going through. You can assess what they actually know and what they don't know. So it is highly usable, and it is very sustainable, and it is something that is a good thing to use, and it's a fun thing to create these videos too. So we're going to take a moment and we're going to go through. We're going to watch a video that I created earlier um, about uh, Galileo Galilei. And here's the screen that's going to come up when your students first get into this program. Now, to sign up as a teacher, you go here. But I'm going to go ahead and sign in as a new student. And as you can see, you can sign in with Google, which is great because I don't have to have another account and use a username and password I got to keep up with and all that stuff. Or if you have an Emoto account, you can sign in with that. I'm going to go ahead and sign in with Google. And I'm going to choose one that I haven't signed in with yet so that we can see this whole process from the beginning. Now here we've got nothing because I haven't joined the class. So what I'm going to do is join a class, and this is where I'm going to put that code in that I just copied. And this is going to be the 4th grade science class that I teach. So I'm going to join that class, and here are all of our videos. Now we're going to go through this one with Galileo Galilei, and we're going to go through this as a student would go through it. So we're going to go ahead and start it, and we're going to do this the way a student would do it.
Galileo Galilei, father of modern science. Galileo Galilei was an Italian physicist, mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher, and one of the pioneers of the scientific method.
So here's one of our first questions, and it's what nationality was Galileo Galilei? Now, you can see that it stops the video, and they're not going to be able to go on until they answer the question. I could have chosen to remove the skip here, which I probably would if I was going to actually do this for a class. So I'm going to put an answer here, and I'm going to submit. It's going to save my answer, and then once I click continue, then the video
Galileo
goes.
overturned the Aristotelian worldview according to which the world can be explained primarily through logic. For example, Aristotle had claimed that the velocity of falling bodies is relative to their weight. Logically, even intuitively, that might sound right. But by putting this hypothesis to test, Galileo proved that all objects fall at the same rate of acceleration. Aristotle claimed that falling objects maintain a constant speed. Galileo proved that speed increases in proportion to the distance of the fall. Galileo also refuted the popular Aristotelian belief that Earth is fixed in the center of the universe, while the stars and planets are metaphysical beings that revolved around it. This is known as geocentrism.
And here's our second question. Geocentrism means everything revolves around what? The answer is the Earth. So we put the answer in, again hit submit, and now we can continue.
By means of his improved telescope, Galileo was able to discover 4 of Jupiter's moons, thus proving that celestial objects can orbit something other than the Earth. And the craters he discovered on the moon's surface refuted Aristotle's belief in the metaphysical nature of the heavens. Galileo then concluded that laws of physics apply equally throughout the universe. Galileo's discoveries confirm the heliocentric model first put forward by Polish mathematician and astronomer Nicholas Copernicus, which argued that despite appearances, the sun neither rises nor sets. It is the Earth that is orbiting the sun. Unfortunately, Galileo failed to convince the Church that heliocentrism does not contradict the Bible. A tour in the dungeons of the Inquisition, however, did convince Galileo to recant. He was sentenced to house arrest for the remainder of his life and forbidden from publishing his writings. The ban on the complete, uncensored works of Galileo was lifted only in 1835, almost 200 years after his death.
And that's our last question, so we're going to continue, and it's going to finish out the video.
Galileo's paradigm-shifting contribution to a scientific method which is based on experiments is the reason why he is considered by many historians the father of modern physics.
So that's EDpuzzle, and you can see how it would engage the student. They would have to be involved in the learning process in order to be able to continue on. So uh, the way that you could integrate this into your classroom is in multiple ways. You could do, have students do this one-on-one with their devices, have them go through this. You could have students break up into groups and do these together. You could even flip it around a little bit and have students create videos for their classmates to do um, as they go in and do that. And that would be something that I think would be pretty fun to see what the students come up with for that. So this is EDpuzzle, and we would highly recommend this tool for your use in the classroom. Thank you for watching our video. We hope you enjoyed it.